On the news tonight, Governor Sharif Oborewori represents staff of office to 14th Okoro Day of Olomo Kingdom. The federal government issues advisory to Nigerians residing in South Africa. Political parties commence submission of electronic registration of members to Independent National Electoral Commission. And abroad, Iran lays out demands ahead of a new push to end war with United States. Good evening and welcome to Delta Television Main News. I am Tony Ilwaka. You can also follow our news online on Facebook and YouTube at Delta Broadcasting Service Asaba or visit our website at www.dbsasaba.com. Now, the details. The state governor, Right Honorable Sharif Oborewori, has presented staff of office to Albert Akpomujay, a senior advocate of Nigeria SAN, as the 14th Okoro Day of Olomo Kingdom, Ugeli South local government area, with a promise to continue to partner with the traditional institution. Governor Oborewori, represented at the colorful ceremony by his deputy Samonde Oyeme, lauded the impeccable professional credentials of the king as a senior advocate of Nigeria SAN and chairman body of benches. He said the royal father would bring his wealth of experience and justice to the throne. The governor said that the presentation of the staff of office was both symbolic and significant as it reinforces the vital link between government and traditional institutions, a partnership that remains central to peace, stability, and development across our state. Governor Oborewori commended the orderly and dignified succession process carried out in line with established traditional and the law, supported by the Uhuri, Imogoro, and Iyavwe ruling houses. He said his emergence spoke to the unity and maturity of the Olomo Kingdom, adding that his record of service as a senior advocate of Nigeria and the chairman body of benches is a source of pride not only to Olomo Kingdom but to Delta State as a whole. The governor noted that his experience, discipline, and sense of justice would undoubtedly strengthen the institution of the throne and advance the cause of the people. While acknowledging the contributions of sons and daughters of Olomo Kingdom who have continued to serve Delta State with dedication, the governor said their role in governance and development would continue to be recognized and encouraged. He urged all stakeholders to support the royal father in sustaining harmony across the kingdom and pledged that his administration will continue to partner with traditional institutions because of their critical role in the grassroots governance and community mobilization. The chairman of Ugeli South Council, Honorable Lucky Ewemore, in an address, thanked Governor Sharif Oborewori for the approval and presentation of the staff of office, noting that such signaled a new and promising era that would be characterized by growth, unity, and prosperity to Olomo Kingdom and the state. In his remark, President General Olomo Kubari Development Union, Olorogun F. Folorunsho Abudu, pledged the continued support of the people for Governor Sharif Oborewori and his administration. The federal government has advised Nigerians residing in South Africa to be cautious of further anti-foreigner protests scheduled in the country. An advisory issued by the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, NIDCOM, headed by Dr. Abike Dabirierawa, noted that warning followed an official circular from the Consulate General of Nigeria in Johannesburg dated April 22, 2026, that demonstrations in East London, Cape Town, Durban, and KwaZulu-Natal have turned violent, leading to looting, property damage, and injuries. The statement urged Nigerians in the country to adhere to the advisory issued by the Consulate General, warning of escalating demonstrations across the country. According to intelligence noted in the consulate circular, further protests are scheduled to happen in the Gauteng province between April 27 to 29, 2026, with demonstrators intending to apply pressure on the South African government over the presence of foreign nationals. In response to the above, NIDCOM is advising all Nigerian citizens to avoid any confrontation with protesters, refrain from engaging with demonstration groups, and monitor local media outlets for real-time safety. Nigerian nationals were also urged to remain law-abiding at all times. It further advised that Nigerian businesses owners protect their businesses by closing on Freedom Day, April 27, and consider remaining closed on April 28 and 29, as foreign-owned businesses are often targeted during unrest. While fully endorsing the position of the Consul General Ambassador Nini Kanwa Okeuche, the Commission noted that the Nigerian Consulate General in Johannesburg remains fully operational and is actively coordinating with South African police authorities to ensure the protection of Nigerian nationals. The statement noted that the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Bianca Ojukwu, is engaging with the Foreign Affairs Minister in South Africa. The advisory follows several viral videos circulating on social media showing groups confronting and, in some cases, assaulting African immigrants while demanding their exit. The Defense Headquarters DHQ has said that the General Court Martial inaugurated yesterday to prosecute 36 military personnel for alleged involvement in a plot to overthrow the administration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu will be conducted with the highest standards of fairness and impartiality in strict adherence to the extant legal frameworks of the military justice system. The Military High Command made the pledge in a statement through the Director of Defense Information, Major General Samaila Uba. In October 2025, the DHQ confirmed the arrest of some officers over acts of indiscipline and breaches of service regulations. This followed reports of a botched coup attempt and the subsequent cancellation of Nigeria's independence celebration. It said military officers involved in the alleged coup plot will be formally arraigned before military court-martial following the conclusion of investigation. During the inauguration of the court-martial yesterday, the defendants, numbering 36, arrived at the court at about 8:54 a.m. in an Army Headquarters Garrison bus, followed by a Defense Intelligence Agency DIA detention operations vehicle. However, the trial commenced behind closed doors at a Scorpion Mess at Sokora, Abuja, and journalists were barred from coverage. In a statement after the inauguration, the defense spokesperson, Major General Uba, said the inauguration marks a significant step in reinforcing discipline, accountability, and the commitment of the armed forces to safeguarding national integrity and constituted authority. The Nigeria Police Commission (PSC), in collaboration with the Nigeria Police Force (NPF), has fixed April 28 to 30, 2026 for the written examination of applicants seeking recruitment into the force as police constables. The examination, which covers both general duty and specialist cadets, will be conducted at designated centers across the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory. According to a statement by the Force Public Relations Officer, Placide Anthony, only candidates who successfully pass the physical and credential screening stage are eligible to participate in the exercise. Qualified applicants have been directed to log on to official recruitment portal from April 24, 2026 to print their examination invitation cards, which contain details of their scheduled date, time, and venue. Candidates are expected to present a PAN, their National Identification Number (NIN) slip, issued by the National Identity Management Commission, with a clear photograph and a printed copy of their examination invitation card at their respective centers. The Commission also specified a dress code for the exercise, directing candidates to appear in white shorts, white t-shirt, and white canvas shoes. The PSC reiterated that the recruitment process is free and warned applicants against engaging in any form of bribery or falling victim to fraudsters. It cautioned that any individuals found involved in job racketeering or financial inducement will be prosecuted in line with the law. The federal government recently updated its import prohibition list, restricting the importation of cement, fertilizer, soaps, and 14 other categories of goods, bringing the total number of affected goods to 17. Our reporter, Esther Oputa, spoke with citizens on the implication of the development. The report.
Many were of the view that the restriction on the importation of cement, fertilizers, soaps, and other affected items would promote the use of made-in-Nigeria goods and ensure increase in demand for locally produced goods. They said it will also help in job and wealth creation, tackling unemployment, as local enterprises would be created to meet rising demand.
I believe it will empower the manufacturer in Nigeria. That's number one thing, because when you restrict something like that, that means you are empowering people who are manufacturing such products in the country. And it will boost the economy, because when you empower your people, I believe they will have sense of belonging. You know, they will have sense of belonging.
I can say the advantages of the restriction of those imported goods is for us to produce our own homemade. This is so that it will be bought in affordable price.
Others expressed concern over the quality of locally produced goods, stressing that there should be proper quality control by relevant agencies to check substandard products.
The quality of the product may not be as the ones that will be imported.
The people called on the government to establish factories for the production of the restricted goods and provide grants to local producers to fund the production and meet up with the demand and supply of the goods in the country.
If they can bring more company, not only one person like that, one source like that, when they bring one company, more companies, they can make the things to be competition. You know what I mean? Price will go down. So that if you go for price of cement in this way, if not let you go, you move to this company. If not let you go, you move to the other company, just like that, until take your choice.
Some lack capital. They may not have the money enough to supply what the country needs, because there might be much demand, but the meeting of that demand might be a problem.
Items affected include poultry products, meat, eggs, refined vegetable oil, sugar, cocoa products, tomatoes, beverages, cement, medicaments, fertilizers, soaps, detergents, paper products, glass bottles, steel products, and ballpoint pens. The policy took effect from April 1. Esther Oputa reporting.
Nigerians have continued to express concern over the growing trend of baby factories across the country, calling for decisive action by security agencies and stricter enforcement of existing laws. Henry Unogwa sampled public opinion on the issue. The report.
Some of the respondents noted that the menace persisted due to societal pressure on childbearing and infertility, suggesting that expanding government health insurance to cover fertility treatment would make legitimate option more accessible and discourage patronage of illegal baby factories.
It will be a very big challenge for the security if they have to work on baby factory, because the demand is high. Then the people that use it as business, they are also available to make sure that they are provided, they are making money also for themselves. So security is a big challenge. I don't know. I don't think security is going to stop it, except there's the gap between the childbearing and the need for having children is bridged.
The people allege that influential individuals benefiting from the practice often frustrated efforts to curb it, calling for intensified security intelligence, community vigilance, and public enlightenment to expose such illegal activities and discourage involvement.
So-called big men, are they not the ones using them for ritual? Why will it stop? Why the people concerned are the ones using them? They know what they are using them for. The community, places that this kind of thing is taking place, they should try and stop it. They should try and talk to people. Talk to the security people about it. Many girls are there in the street. You see how young girls are being wasted.
Others describe baby factory operations as a serious crime against humanity, stressing the need for law enforcement agencies to arrest and prosecute perpetrators while urging collaboration between communities, vigilantes, and the relevant authorities, alongside stricter regulations of orphanages and the maternity homes.
This baby factory is a very big offense in the public. They train girls, spoil them, get men to pregnant them, and keep them there, begin to sell the children to ritualists and otherwise. So I am of the opinion that the police commissioner should enforce his men, and wherever they discover baby factory, they should charge the proprietor of that place to court.
The respondents advocated improved girl-child education, poverty alleviation, and the establishment of rehabilitation centers to redirect vulnerable youth.
Many people, they establish just a room and parlor for baby factory, which they sell for both money rituals and other things. The security personnel should enhance themselves with other people, with the people within the community, so that we fish out all these people. We know them, they are in our community. My advice to the community is that we, the indigenous people, they should support the government so that this thing will be, and we should put an end to all these things.
Emphasizing that collective efforts was needed to restore moral values and safeguard society. Henry Onogwa reporting.
Political parties in the country have commenced the process of submitting an electronic register of their members to the Independent National Electoral Commission, in line with the timetable and schedule of activities released by the Commission ahead of the 2027 general elections. The Commission had fixed May 10, 2026 as a deadline for submission of the register of members by parties, an extension from the initial April 21, 2026. Both the All Progressive Congress APC and the Nyesom Wike-backed National Working Committee of the People's Democratic Party PDP have submitted an electronic copy of their register to the Commission. Section 77 of the 2026 Electoral Act requires political parties to maintain a digital register of its members and submit same to INEC 21 days before the party primaries, adding that any member whose name is not on the register as at the time it was submitted to the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC will not be eligible to contest the 2027 general election. Although the Labour Party has scheduled its national convention and presidential primaries for April 28, 2026, it is not clear when they submitted their electronic register to the Commission and the number of members contained in it. You're watching Delta Television Main News. Still to come, Iran lays out demands ahead of a new push to end war with United States. Details on the story and more after the short break. Please do stay with us.
I'm very, very impressed with what we have seen in this MFO Phase 2. What I can see here is that they are not economizing the materials that we have sufficiently provided for in the Bill of Engineering, Measurement and Evaluation, and that is what we expect of every contractor, whether indigenous or otherwise. You must be able to execute the project in such a way that it stands the test of time, and for Deltans to indeed reap the benefit of what Oborowori intends. Our coming here today is to ensure that the different contractors are able to meet up with the schedule of work as to when they are supposed to complete. And then secondly, to also ensure that they are moving in line with the Bill of Engineering, Measurement and Evaluation. Oborowori is doing it to open up the rural communities, connect them to their kids and kin in the city, and make also life much more livable for them.
You're welcome back. You're listening to Delta Television Main News. And on the world stage, Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araki laid out Iran's demands and its reservations about U.S. positions today as Pakistan made a new push to end a Waqt that killed thousands and shaken global energy markets. After holding talks with Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif and other top officials, Araki and his delegation flew out to Pakistan's capital Islamabad with a military jet escort. The White House had earlier said President Donald Trump's special envoy Steve Witkoff and son-in-law Jared Kushner would travel to Islamabad today. It was not immediately clear if or when Araki would return to Pakistan. Iran has previously ruled out a new round of direct talks with the United States. The Washington and Tehran are at impasse as Iran has largely closed the Strait of Hormuz, which normally carries 1/5 of global oil and liquefied natural gas (LNG) shipment, while the US blocks Iran's oil export. The conflict, in which a ceasefire is now in force, began with US-Israeli airstrikes on Iran on February 28. Iran has since carried out strikes against Israel, US bases and Gulf states, and the war has pushed up energy prices to multi-year highs, stoking inflation and darkening global growth prospects. Elections are taking place across the occupied West Bank as well as Dar al-Balah in central Gaza, where Hamas operates. Hamas was not allowed to stand and several other factions have boycotted it over a requirement the candidate recognize the authority of the Palestinian Liberation Organization, PLO, which dominates the Palestinian Authority, PA, governing the part of the occupied West Bank not under Israeli control. Fatah, the faction led by President Mahmoud Abbas, and which dominates the PLO, was violently ousted from Gaza after last elections there, which Hamas won, triggering a power struggle between the two groups. More than 1 million voters across the Palestinian territories are eligible to take part, according to the Ramallah-based Central Elections Commission, including 70,000 in Deir al-Balah, where 12 polling stations were scheduled to operate. Results are expected late today or tomorrow. While Hamas was not on the ballot in Dar al-Balah, Reuters news agency reported that one slate of candidates was widely seen as being aligned with it. The central city was chosen as the sole Gaza area where elections would take place, as it was not as badly damaged as other places during the Israel-Hamas war. A fragile ceasefire is in place as part of the President Trump's 20-point peace plan, which halted the fighting in October last year. Hamas continues to operate in parts of Gaza where Israeli forces have withdrawn from, and Reuters reported that its police force was involved in security operations around polling stations. The group's popularity has fallen in Gaza because of the war, which some Gazans partially blame on Hamas for launching its attack on southern Israel on October 7, 2023, triggering Israeli military retaliation. And now to business. The Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) has alerted the public to a surge in fraudulent messages and cyber attack attempts targeting personal bank accounts. In a statement issued yesterday, the Apex Bank, through its acting director of corporate communications, Mrs. Hakaima Sidiali, said the scams involve emails, messages, and online content falsely claiming to originate from the CBN. According to the bank, such communications are designed to mislead the public, prompting recipients to click on malicious links and spreading false information about its leadership, licensing, and policy matters. It added that the messages are intended to deceive individuals and gain unauthorized access to personal and financial information. The bank emphasized that its official website remains www.cbn.gov.ng, urging the public to rely only on verified channels for information. It advised Nigerians to avoid clicking on suspicious links or sharing personal details on unverified platforms and to confirm the authenticity on any communication attributed to the CBN through its official website and recognized media outlets. The Apex Bank also called on the public to report any suspected fraudulent messages, emails, or websites to law enforcement authorities. Reaffirming its commitment to the financial system safety, the CBN said it is strengthening its cybersecurity frameworks in collaboration with relevant agencies to protect Nigerians against digital fraud. The Naira appreciated yesterday to 1,380 Naira per dollar to the parallel markets from 1,090 Naira per dollar the previous day. However, the Naira depreciated to 1,358 Naira per dollar in the Nigerian Foreign Exchange Market, NFM. Data from the Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) showed that the indicative exchange rate for the Naira rose to 1,358 Naira per dollar from 1,354 Naira per dollar on Thursday, reflecting 4.46 Naira depreciation for the Naira. Consequently, the margin between the parallel and the official market narrowed to 21.34 Naira per dollar from 40.8 Naira per dollar on Thursday. This week, the Naira weakened by 9.66 Naira per dollar on the official market, with the number of deals in the interbank foreign exchange market falling by 41.7% to 346 deals from 594 deals the previous week. Similarly, the turnover for the interbank foreign exchange market declined by 49.5% to 248.44 million Naira from 492.57 million Naira the previous week. But the Naira strengthened by 7 Naira per dollar in the parallel market. Analysts projected the Naira to remain sensitive to continued central bank interventions and evolving foreign exchange liquidity conditions in the near future. The Speaker, Delta State House of Assembly and Chairman Conference of Speakers of State Legislatures of Nigeria, Right Honorable Emomotimikwo, has commiserated with the Chairman of the All Progressive Congress APC Delta State Chapter, Chief Solomon Arayenka, over the death of his mother, Mrs. Felicia Arayenka, at the age of 91. In a condolence message issued by the Chief Press Secretary, Mr. Nkemweke, the Speaker, on behalf of the family and the state legislature, extended heartfelt condolences to the APC chairman and the entire Arayenka family on the passing of their matriarch. Honorable Goa, while acknowledging the fulfilled life of the late nonagenarian, noted that a mother's love is irreplaceable and her departure leaves a void words cannot fill. He prayed that Almighty God grant Chief Arayenka and his siblings the fortitude to bear the irreplaceable loss. And now to sports. The Nigerian Football Federation has directed that all state-level finals of the President Federation Cup must be completed this weekend across 35 states and the Federal Capital Territory, warning that failure to comply with and will attract sanctions. The directive applies to all states except Lagos, which was granted an exception after a formal request citing the use of its proposed venue for an official government function. According to the NFF, the finals are scheduled to take place today and tomorrow, with all state football associations expected to conclude their competitions within the stipulated time frame ahead of the national stage. The NFF reiterated that strict compliance is mandatory and warned of financial penalties for defaulting states. They added that failure to complete fixtures within the approved window would attract sanctions of 1 million naira, adding that adherence is essential to ensure smooth progression of the competition structure. The state finals form part of the ongoing 2026 President Federation Cup, which is being contested across the country as clubs battle for qualification to the national stage of Nigeria's oldest football competition. The competition begins at a level with open participation from grassroots sides through a top-tier club, with each state producing 2 representatives to progress. At the national phase, a total of 74 teams are expected to advance, with lower-ranked sides competing in preliminary playoffs before joining seeded clubs from the Nigeria Premier Football League and the Nigerian National League in the round of 64. From that stage, the tournament follows a straight knockout format, with matches typically played at neutral venues and decided by penalties if necessary. The latest directive comes as the Nigeria Premier Football League has taken a 2-week break to allow clubs to fully participate in the state-level Federation Cup matches. The league, which is approaching its decisive phase, is expected to resume after the conclusion of state finals, with the Matchday 36 fixtures now scheduled for May 3 and Matchday 37 set for May 10. The NPFL opposed aligns with earlier instructions from the NFF, which had emphasized strict compliance with Federation Cup obligations, including fines for clubs that fail to honor fixtures or withdraw after registration. The state finals this weekend will determine final representatives for the national competition, which will follow the competition and completion of all state-level ties and subsequent national playoffs. And that's our news. Now to our thought for the day. No religion in the world is greater than kindness. No scripture is deeper than compassion. And no ritual is holier than love. And to end Delta Television main news, here are the highlights. The state governor, Right Honorable Sheriff Obodewori, has presented staff of office to Albert Akpomujai, a senior advocate of Nigeria SAN, as the 14th Okwodo Day of Olomo Kingdom, Ugeli South Local Government Area, with a promise to continue to partner with the traditional institution. Governor Obodewori, represented at a colorful ceremony by his deputy, Samonde Oyeme, lauded the impeccable professional credentials of the king as a senior advocate of Nigeria SAN and chairman body of benches. The federal government has advised Nigerians residing in South Africa to be cautious of future anti-foreigner protests scheduled in the country. An advisory issued by the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission (NIDCOM), headed by Dr. Abike Dabirewa, noted that the warning followed an official circular from the Consulate General of Nigeria in Johannesburg dated April 22, 2026, that demonstrations in East London, Cape Town, Durban and KwaZulu-Natal have turned violent, leading to looting, property damage, and injuries. And finally, political parties in the country have commenced the process of submitting an electronic register of their members to the Independent National Electoral Commission in line with the timetable and schedule of activities released by the Commission ahead of the 2027 general elections. The Commission had fixed May 10, 2026 as a deadline for the submission of the register of members by parties, an extension from the initial April 21, 2026. And abroad, Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araqi laid out Iran's demands and its reservations about U.S. positions today as Pakistan made a new push to end a war that has killed thousands and shaken global energy markets. After holding talks with Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif and other top officials, Araqi and his delegation flew out of Pakistan's capital Islamabad with a military jet escort. And that's it on Delta Television Main News. Remember, you can also follow our news online on Facebook and YouTube at Delta Broadcasting Service Asaba, or visit our website at www.dbsasaba.com. On behalf of the production team, I am Tony Eloaka. Have a good evening.